So hey guys, I would like to tell you about my newest musical instrument, which I have right here. And you're saying, that looks like a backpack, not an instrument, and you would be correct. It is. Now in addition, I'm posting this on my YouTube page, but I'm probably also gonna post it on my Cigar Box Nation page. And there's probably a few people saying, what does that have to do with a cigar box guitar? And I promise that it does, but I'll get to that later in the video because I wanna kind of show it off first. And plus some people might not be interested in that, so I'll put that towards the end, but there is a direct story between this instrument and a cigar box guitar. So let's go ahead and open it. So you can see this is the gig bag here, and you slide it out, and we have, looks like a pillow, but it's not. It's just the case for what's inside. So I'm gonna open that, and we pull out, voila, a drum of sorts, as you see this. So this is a VibeDrum, and it's a type of steel tongue drum. Also, they're sometimes called tank drums because they were originally made out of propane tanks. It's a relatively new instrument. You take a propane tank, cut the top and bottom off, weld them together, cut some tongues in it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's tongues there. Yep, there we go. You can probably see that. There's tongues in there. And anyway, and then you hit a tongue and it resonates a note. So very simple instrument, but they sound amazing. So this particular one, as I mentioned before, came from VibeDrums, and this one is the double, so it has a set of tongues on both sides. Hopefully you can see that. So it has a set of tongues on both sides, and one side is tuned to a D, sorry, my brain is locked up, D Pygmy scale, and the other side is tuned to an E minor pentatonic scale. So both of them are 5-tone scales. There's 9 notes per side, and so a pentatonic scale would have, minor pentatonic scale would have the root, the minor third, the fourth, the fifth, and the flat seventh for the 5 tones. The Pygmy scale would have the root, the second, the minor third, the fifth, and the flat seventh for the 5 tones. What's interesting is if you look at that combination, and I'll put it out on the screen because I'm not going to say which notes they are, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. But if you look at it, what happens is you, between those two sides, you get all the natural notes. So you have an A, B, C, D, E, F, and G between the two sides. So that's kind of a neat thing. So I'm not really sure how well this is going to be picked up with the camera outside, especially with all the ambient noise and stuff. So I might have to do a few different ways to get a couple sound clips on it. Plus, keep in mind, I've owned this thing for a couple hours, so I don't even know how to play it yet. So I'm not going to guarantee that my sound clips are going to be all that great. But anyway, I'll play a couple of sounds here for you so you can hear this thing because it sounds awesome. Additionally, VibeDrums gives you, with the kit here, they give you a couple of mallets. So you get the bag and the case and all that. You get a couple of mallets, and they actually make these mallets themselves. And I don't know if you can see this, but one side is like a hard rubber beater, and it's very much, it feels very much like a Super Ball or something. It's very hard rubber. And the other side is a felt top, like more like a traditional, you know, xylophone mallet or something. So you have a softer kind of note you can get with it, and then you have a harder note you can get with it. And of course you can play it with your fingers as well. So you have a few different tones you can get out. But so it comes with these, it comes with the bag and the sleeve, all that, and just a really neat instrument. So let's see what she sounds like. Okay, so if we just go up the scale, we get this. So this is the E minor pentatonic, and obviously you can, you know, do chords like, or, you know, whatever, or you can kind of just hit notes. That was not rhythmic at all, but then again, I have owned this drum for a couple hours. So, but what's kind of fun is, because I'm not near as proficient with my left hand as my right, since, you know, I'm not traditionally a drummer, is you can kind of use the left one to drone over here on the root note or the lowest note, and do something like this. kind of do something like that. Let's flip it over and try the other side. So another kind of nice use of the bag that's inside is you can kind of lay it in your lap before you set the drum down. It makes like a little bit of a cushion. But anyway, this is the D Pygmy side. So if we just go straight up the scale, and by the way, I'm going to use the hard side of the mallet on this one. So if we go up the scale, so you can hear with the harder mallet, you kind of get, if you hit it just right, there you go. You kind of get that calypso, a little bit of that kind of calypso Caribbean sound. There you go. That really did it there. But if you hit them just right, you can kind of get that out of them. But anyway, so and now, if you're wondering what this has to do with cigar box guitars, let me tell you. So the fellow who owns VibeDrums or manages it or whatever, his name's Vernon, really nice guy. So he has a YouTube channel where he's posted videos of the drums and different, tunings and all that kind of stuff. And I found his YouTube channel, started watching him. I certainly had heard of tank drums or steel tongue drums. And I started to, really learn about him, and I was like, wow, he's really making some great drums. So I emailed him or got in touch with him. I can't remember. I think it was email at first, or maybe we got in touch through YouTube, whatever it was. But so we kind of went back and forth, and it turned out he's actually a fan of the instruments that I build, the cigar box guitars and amps and things like that I build. So long story short, we went back and forth a little bit, got to know each other a little bit. Really cool guy, and it turns out that he actually liked my stuff, and so he was like, "Can we do a trade?" So I ended up sending him a cigar box guitar and an amp, and he ended up taking money off of the drum. So that's why I was able to get the two-sided drum as compared to the one-sided drum. The standard one just has one side of tongues. This one has two sides, or 18 notes, 9 notes per side. So you get 2 scales. And so anyway, we basically worked out a deal. And so if it wasn't for my cigar box guitars, I might not have this right now. So very cool how everything just kind of comes together. Another neat thing about this one is the Copper Sun finish, which all their drums are finished with a powder coat. They're not spray painted, they're actually powder coated, and they do that because powder coating has less of an environmental footprint, which is kind of a cool thing that they do. But additionally, this, I don't know if it's really going to do it justice, but it's one of those paint styles where it looks different colors based on whether you're in the shade or direct sun or what have you. And it kind of goes from red to orange to copper, depending on the way you look at it. And they've got a couple other, finishes like that. Like one of them goes from like blue to purple, light blue to dark blue to purple. And one of them kind of looks brown and copper and yellow in certain lights. So they kind of do some really neat finishes. But this one is the Copper Sun. This is the Double VibeDrum that has 18 notes, and I really love it. But anyway, I'm very happy with the VibeDrum. I think VibeDrums is a great company, and super glad that I have this.